Red Riding. Uh, Before I go further, I would like to welcome Svetlina from Germany, who is my acquaintance, and she got interested in the concept. So, like Shajan said just now, that we hope to reach out even beyond India. So, welcome, Svetlina. And let me share my slide. Okay. Is it visible?
It is.
Yes, ma'am. Please proceed.
Yeah. So let me share why I have called a human being as a living planet. Going by what Eric Burns said, that we all have three people residing within us. And these three people again are like, each ego state. As I go ahead, I will be talking more about it. But each ego state again is divided in various parts. So it's as if, we are populated. Each human being is populated by various persons within him or her. And they are all interacting with each other. And constantly that interaction is going on. And this interaction is affecting our behavior, our observable behavior. Many times we find it strange, many times we find it pleasing, pleasant, and sometimes we call it like, we call some people crazy and we don't know why it is happening. So, as I understand it, it is because of this chaos going on within us. So, to go further, when we talk about ego, many times this word, ego word, is taken in a negative connotation. Like we say that this person has a lot of ego, or we call people egoist. So, what is ego really? So, I was curious to know. And of course, I took help of Google Chacha and what ego is. So, ego is often understood as self, particularly in relation to others or the external world. It also encompasses self-esteem and egotism. So this is a fundamental concept in psychology, and our ego shapes our sense of identity and how we perceive our place in the world. So, ego is not necessarily, need not be taken in negative connotation. When we say I have ego, I may mean that yes, I have concept of myself with relation to the world around me. I'm going to start with Freud, who is considered as father of psychology. Frankly, I myself believe that Sri Krishna from our Mahabharata or our Bhagavad Gita, who gave Bhagavad Gita to the world, I always find him as a Adya psychologist, the first psychologist. When you read Bhagavad Gita, you will understand what I'm saying. So, coming back to Freud, Freud has said that we all have three ego states. He divided it as id, ego, and superego. So, what is id basically? Id is instinctive and primitive me. So, I'm born with it. It is entirely unconscious. In next slide, I will be explaining this concept. So this is entirely unconscious. uh, it's like pleasure principle, and all my wants, all my desires, all my wishes, all my feelings, everything is in my id. And this id is like immediate gratification. Whatever I wanted just now. So I can't wait for fulfillment of my desires or my wishes. Uh, and Freud, being Freud, he has given sexual connotation to practically each concept of his. But let us keep that aside. Basically, it is a pleasure principle, and this also leads to pain many times. So there is pain, there are desires, there are wishes which need to be fulfilled immediately. That is id. Then we go to superego. Let let us go to ego later. So we go to superego. This is like a moral principle. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You're
Yeah.
audible.
Yeah. I thought someone is telling me I'm not audible. Okay. So, superego, it is basically a sense of right and wrong, how you should behave, how you should treat others, what are the right things to do, wrong things to do. So, this superego is present both at conscious level and unconscious level. And these are learned principles. So we have learned it from our parental figures, and it is transferred from generation to generation. So rights and wrongs which control you. So it controls your behavior. These rights and wrongs, these principles, moral principles, they control your behavior, and they play a big part in the development of your personality. And these are internalized ideas, and they provide me a base, basically, how to behave, how to operate in the society. Again, these are very, very ideal. So there is no opportunity to negotiate. These are non-negotiable, basically. They're ideal. So it is either here or nothing. Now we come to ego. This is a rational principle, reality principle. So what ego does, ego gives reality check to the wishes and wants of id and the moral principles of superego. It ensures that id gets what he or she wants, but in a way that is acceptable in the real world. So he balances the commands given by superego and the wishes expressed by id. Basically, he is a moderator, and it is a logical aspect of personality. And this is completely in the conscious area of our mind. And uh, when ego has executive powers, then our behavior is more appropriate, because we neither ignore the wishes nor ignore completely the societal norms. So we do what is societally acceptable and also what will fulfill my wishes. So this is one representation with few examples. So what is the psychodynamic perspective on structure of personality? So it pressures a person to fulfill primitive drives related to hunger, sex, aggression, and irrational impulses. So my behavior, if I'm like very arrogant, I'm not behaving in a way that is considered as a good way by society, it is because my id is in executive power at that time without ego's control. And when I'm going by the do's and don'ts, which are given to me by my parents, which is a perfect way of behaving, then my superego is in more executive power. And ego is the one who balances these moral judgments and desires. So as an example, like suppose I want to eat burger today, and my id will be like, no, I have to eat burger today. And I will just start searching. I will go on Zomato. I will order it. And I have to have it today, just now. And my superego goes on telling me, no, this is a fast food. It's not healthy for you. You have already put on so much weight. So you shouldn't even think of eating a fast food. Now, the ego in me will think, okay, id in me wants to eat burger very badly, and I don't want to leave her unsatiated. But at the same time, what my superego is telling me is also true. Eating so much fast food is not good for me because I am gaining weight. So, okay, what I will do, I will eat burger today, and tomorrow I will work out more and burn those calories. So this is a simple example from our day-to-day life, and this is how id, ego, and superego within us operate. Those who are familiar with TA concepts, they can easily make the connection between what Freud said and what Eric Berne said. So I mentioned that id is completely at unconscious level. So our mind, Freud divided into conscious level and unconscious level. So it is completely submerged in unconscious level of our mind. And superego is more like major portion is in unconscious mind, but some portion of it is there in the conscious mind. And as far as ego is concerned, its major region, vast region is above the surface level. So consider our personality as an iceberg. And the way iceberg, like only tip of iceberg can be seen above sea level, and majority of it is not to be seen. So similarly, ego is majority on conscious level, but some portion of ego also is submerged in unconscious level. So this is how Freud has divided our personality. Now going to Eric Berne, which we all are familiar of, except few who may have joined today and are not familiar with TA concept. So for their benefit, I will explain it. So Eric Berne, taking from Freud's concept of id, ego, and superego, with little change, of course. So what Eric Berne said, that there are three people residing in each of us. One is parent, one is child, and one is adult. We will start with child because the way we are born with it, so that is a initial entity that we are born with. Similarly, Burns said that child is the one which develops first. So what is child? It is again a pleasure principle. There is creativity in our child ego state. There is impulsiveness, all our feelings, all our wants, all our desires, wishes, all of these are residing in the child part of my personality. And parent, which is nurturing, takes care of family, is a loving person, is supportive, and also sets boundaries. So tells me how to behave in society. It gives me moral values, it gives me judgments, beliefs, and it also ensures the safety, affection, nurturing. So at the same time, parent can be demanding, criticizing, and nagging also, because there might be excessive judgments residing in the parent part of my personality. It also can be like the nurturing part of my parent might be the rescuing or patronizing person also. So this is how parent and child work. And again, when we come to adult part of my personality, it plays like a mediator between child and parent, gives it a reality check, rationalizes everything, and helps us to give a appropriate response to the situation based on here and now. So it's rational, logical, and problem solving part of my personality. It also integrates new ideas. So when I behave appropriately, situationally appropriate behavior can happen if adult is mediating between child and parent. Otherwise, we are likely to go to one or other extreme. So this is a picture representation. So one person who is having all three, child, parent, and adult, suppose like you can see in this picture that maybe adult is confused, adult is maybe excluded, or adult is contaminated and is not able to operate appropriately. So child and parent, or maybe one of them, is like overpowering adult. So imagine there are two people like this, and conversation or interaction is happening between two people who don't have adult in executive power, where adult is either excluded or contaminated. Then how that interaction will go? So if you have seen video which I had shared with the organizing committee, in that I had mentioned that conversation happens only and only if conversation within me, between three people who are residing within me, is going smoothly. If that conversation is not going smoothly, then there is pure noise. Instead of conversation, there is noise. And imagine there are two people who have, basically noise going on. Then how the interaction between these two people will go? So that is the basic thing. When we say that interaction between two people is not going well, it is because either one or both of them are facing noise within them. And unless and until we look into within us and take care of that noise within us and bring our adult to the fore, conversation or interaction is not going to be nice or peaceful. Now, I'm going to go through this Little Red Riding Hood story with you all, and we are going to examine TA principles in this story. And you may, I have come across few TA principles. You might be able to find out more. So you all know the story of Little Red Riding Hood, who was staying with her mother, and she was a very pretty girl, and she was fond of wearing that red hood all the time. And that is how maybe we don't know what her real name was, what name was given to her, but she came to be known as Little Red Riding Hood and was a very sweet, very pretty girl. So, as it happened, one morning, her mother told her that you have to visit your grandmom and take some cake or sweets or maybe honey and something mother had given to her. And she said, you have to go visit your grandmom, give all this to her, talk with her, check on her, and come back. And when you are on the way, don't talk to strangers. So here, basically when I read this story, it set me thinking, how come? Because she had to travel through jungle. And we all know that there are wild animals in the jungle who, are not safe. Jungle is not safe for such a young girl to travel. So how come mother has sent this small girl traveling through jungle to grandmom, I was wondering. So I started finding out what was the reason, which ego state, what was active in this mother. So possibly she was not able to go for some reason. Maybe she was taking care of household chores and she was not able to go. And there was some need. So, a parent, nurturing parent in her, was concerned about her mother and wanted her mother to be taken care of. So, that nurturing parent was overpowering at that time, and maybe her adult ego state was kind of dormant. So, was not able to think that, oh, I am sending my daughter through jungle, which is dangerous. But at the same time, her mother, her parent ego state was active. So she has given a command to her daughter, don't talk to strangers. That command is given. Though she is sending her daughter through jungle, which itself is dangerous, still she has given something to her daughter to follow, which will keep her safe. Now, when Little Red Riding Hood is traveling through jungle, she comes across lots of rabbits and beautiful flowers. There are fruits, trees with laden with fruits. So she enjoys that whole thing. She starts enjoying it. She is playing with rabbits and she's almost forgotten that where she's going. So here again, if you check the ego state, she's completely in her child ego state and free child, basically, who is enjoying the nature around her, enjoying playing with rabbits. And by that time, possibly, as it happens, free child many times uh, like forgets whatever is stored in my parent ego state. Some commands are given which are related to my safety, which are related to my well being. I am likely to forget all of them. So, completely forgotten while she was enjoying all this. Now enters a wolf who by chance saw her, and after seeing her, he was tempted that, oh, I have a tasty feast available to me today. So, again, in the wolf, I can see child ego state who has desires, wants, wishes, and can't contain those desires, wants, and wishes. So it doesn't have any nurturing parent, obviously, because such a beautiful, pretty child, Wolf doesn't think that no, 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 let her go, let her enjoy her travel. So no nurturing parent can be seen in Wolf, and he strikes a conversation with Little Riding Hood. So asks her, where are you going? And completely, by that time, Little Red Riding Hood has completely forgotten what her mother told her. She's so much engrossed in all the enjoyment that she's doing. She's not even scared of Wolf. Completely in free child. That safety principle, everything is gone. So she tells that wicked wolf where she's going, where her grandmom stays, everything she shares, forgetting that my mother has told me not to talk with strangers. She has already played with rabbits who were strangers to her. So now Wolf has another feast waiting for him. There is grandma. So Wolf's adult reality principle kicks in. So, not necessary that whenever adult principle is active, something good will come out of it. So, the reality check is active in Wolf now. He realizes that, okay, instead of eating her here, let me go to her grandma's place so that I can feast on two. grandma as well as Little Red Riding Hood. And also, there is a chance that if I do any harm to her here, some other people are there, woodcutters might be there around me, so they may see me. So it is better that I go to her grandmom's place, and accordingly he like encourages her to collect few more flowers and few more fruits so that it gets time to reach her grandmom's place before Little Red Riding Hood reaches there. So again, you can see adult reality check here and now active in Wolf. So he reaches grandmom's place and pretends to be Little Red Riding Hood when he knocks on grandmom's door so that he's allowed inside. So again, here again, the child ego state can be seen, but the little professor, where we see that adult in child ego state, which is very creative and can think out of box. So how do I enter this house? Let me pretend as if I'm Little Red Riding Hood. Grandma opens the door. I wonder again that how can a wolf sound like her granddaughter? So where was her reality check at that moment? Possibly because she was not well, possibly because she was weak. It was not active because of the physical conditions. Our physical conditions do affect our mental health. So possibly because of that, she just opens the door and he gets the access. Now, Wolf has feasted on Grandma, taken her place in the bed, and Little Red Riding Hood reaches there. And she starts asking Wolf many questions. So, how come you look different? Why your hands are, so big? Why you have such big teeth? So she goes on asking questions, curious. Still, her child ego state is active. She has completely forgotten what her mom told her to do. And she could have, like, the moment she saw him, she could have realized that no, this is not my grandmom. This is someone else. The similarity must be there, right? Like just because Wolf wore those grandmom's clothes is not going to look like grandmom, but she's completely in her child ego state and just goes on talking with that wolf, asking many questions. So, curiosity, inquisitiveness, which is very prominent in child ego state, is very active at that moment. And Wolf got the chance to eat Little Red Riding Hood. Now there are various versions. So basically, this story was written by I forgot the name of author. Charles Perrault. But there are various versions. I read on Google that there are as many as 34 versions of this story. And some of the versions have woodcutter who followed Wolf because he was suspicious, who followed Wolf and saved Grandmom as well as Little Red Riding Hood from Wolf. So Wolf had to run away. So there are various versions. I personally like that version better, where Woodcutter followed Little Red Riding Hood and saved both Grandmom and Little Red Riding Hood, because it is almost like our Hindi movies, we prefer to have good endings. So later versions have good endings. I heard recently that the Sholay movie, which was released few years back, had a different ending, which was not palatable to our censor board. But now that different ending, Sholay is again to be released with that different ending. But we, as human beings, like to have good endings to all the stories. So, this story, I have already shared what are the ego states that can be seen in this story, Little Red Riding Hood. And The same is repeated here, so I won't talk about it again. But you might have, while we were going through this story, you might have come across something more. And I would like you all to share about it, maybe on the group later. Now I come to our Indian philosophy. This is not directly connectable to what we have seen. Like Freud's concept of id-ego and superego and Eric Berne's concept of parent adult child PSA model are basically very, very comparable to each other. But when we come to Indian philosophy, it talks about three gunas. It is a triguna theory. So it says that we all have different, uh, again, let me talk in theatre terms only. So we all have three persons, three personality factors. So one is sattvic, which is a balanced one, harmonious one, positive one, loves peace, there is clarity of thinking, and it is also creative, open, and intelligent. So this is almost like saints. Then we have Rajas, which is more into like active thing, movement, activity. It's energetic principle. There is excitement, passion, desire, agitation, all the feelings, all the desires, all the active things. So when anyone who is living nice life, think of a businessman who creates an empire, who creates lots of wealth, also shares it with others, takes care of a lot of people, builds an empire. He is likely to have Rajas personality. And then there is Tamas, which is like inertia. It is inactive. It's a negative side of our personality. It's not empathetic to other people. It's a dark side of our personality. It can be delusional many times, and there is ignorance in this factor. So I personally feel that we all display these three factors of our personality are of one time or other. But there is one which is more prominent in each one of us. So you can observe that there are some people who are very, peace loving. They have very positive attitude. They interact very well with others. They kind of have harmony within them, and because of that, they create harmonious relations with people around them. So we many times display these different personalities, and that is how I'm relating it to the personality theory given by Sigmund Freud and Dr. Eric Berne. So this is my take on it, and this is what I wanted to share with you all. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I enjoyed talking about it a lot. Thank you so much.